Truckers are the heartbeat of America.
Now, it's time for those four crazy truckers to deliver you an hour of news, interviews, and entertainment for your listening pleasure. It's the Independent Truckers, right here at the Truckers Independent Broadcasting Network, with your host, Princess Allen, Mr. Rock and Roll Sean Mitchell, Lisa the Spoiled Squirrel Schrott, and John Grosvenor. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Independent Truckers, right here at the Truckers Independent Broadcasting Network. As you heard, your host. We're missing one there. Lisa Squirrel Schrott is not with us. She's AOL. How you guys doing?
Good, John. How are you?
You know, just same old, same old. Trying to figure out all this system. We're tinkering here tonight, so this is our playtime. So might be moving around the screen here a little bit as we're BSing. But so what's going on with you, Sean?
Oh, nothing new. You know, trying to get used to a new truck. Look, no more red light, Allie.
Darn. I missed the red light special.
They took him out of the red light district.
They took me out of Amsterdam. Said I couldn't do it no more.
Well, off to new beginnings.
I may put a red light back there just for you.
You should.
I may do that.
You need to get one of these lights. It's like a hand or whatever, and you can change the setting. You got thumbs up. You got the hand like this. And you got the middle finger, too. You need to get yourself one of those.
Or maybe I can get those lights like you got in your room.
You can get some of these, too. Shit, if I had the remote, I'd show you.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I'll get one. I'll get it where it's situated where it shows going like this.
There you go.
I'll get a little toggle switch put on up here. I got a couple extra switches available. I'll just flip that on every time somebody pisses me off.
You can find it on Amazon. I've seen it on TikTok Shop. I've seen it many places.
Oh.
John, what you got?
Well, Sean sent us an article here. 177,000 drivers at risk of losing commercial vehicle driving privileges as November downgrade deadline looms. When is downgrading? When does this happen? This is what, the clearinghouse? Thousands.
Yeah, that's what I believe it's next month.
Yeah, thousands of CDL, CLP holders in prohibited status in clearinghouse, according to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's 177,092 CDL and CLP holders are currently listed in the prohibited status in the agency's Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse as of September 1st, 2024. The FMCSA's Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse is an online database that provides the law enforcement employees with real-time information on CDL and CLP holder drug and alcohol program violations. So what's the big deal here? What's going on? They didn't get their driver's license downgraded before I take it. See, I wouldn't know because I'm not doing drugs, people. So I don't know what y'all are doing out there that you might have to, one of the 177,000. I don't know what you're doing, but you should stop that nonsense. I'm just saying. Most of these CDL holders, 134,779, have not yet begun the return to duty process that would have saved their license when downgrading begins next month. What's that mean, Sean? I mean, what are they going to downgrade? Then you got to retest all back in again?
That's basically the way I took that article to read, John.
Oh, November 18th, National John Grosvenor Day, November 18th, 2024. Federal law will require all state driver licenses agencies to remove commercial driving privileges from the driver's license of prohibited individuals. The license downgrades will remain in place until the return to duty process is completed. Well, you can't drive anyway until you went through the process anyway. What's the downgrade doing?
Well, that means they'll just take away the CDL part of your license.
Well, it's the same thing if you don't get a med card. Then they just suspend your driver's license. You're back to an operator again until you turn it in, then you're upgraded again.
Gee, it kind of sounds like to me that Rains Act should have passed.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's another story.
Stupid here. The Clearinghouse's final rule requires that beginning November 18, 2024, state driver's license agencies must remove the commercial motor vehicle driver privileges from the driver's license of an individual subject to the CMV driving prohibition. This will result in a downgrade of the license until the driver completes return duty status. This means at the beginning of November 18th, having a prohibited clearinghouse status will result in losing or being denied a CDL or CLP. Okay. I have no issue with this at all. Like I said, you should be doing drugs in the first place.
That'll bring us into a show. Bring us a little bit into our show later tonight, but what we're going to talk about briefly. But John, this could be news for the drivers now going through schools that have got a clean slate.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not big on drugs. I don't care about marijuana. They could legalize marijuana for all I give a crap. Let drug drivers smoke it for all I give a crap. I don't think that's such an issue, right? But, I mean, these guys doing meth and all sorts of nonsense. That's ridiculousness. I was kind of foolish because I believed that drugs weren't that big of a deal in trucking. And the more I got involved in, like, say, after Operation Black and Blue and all this other stuff, then I started realizing there's a lot of drivers still out here doing stupid shit.
I think
Well, they were doing.
marijuana is
Go
only
ahead,
a
Alice.
problem if it impairs you or you can't do your job right. I think that's really the only time that it should be where you can't access to it, only if it impairs you. I mean, you're not just a danger to yourself, but you're in danger to everybody else.
Well, nobody should be smoking and driving. But I'm talking about, like, you're done for the day, you clocked out.
Yeah.
I can clock out for the day. I'm gonna take a break, walk across the street to the bar, have a couple of drinks, go to bed. Good night.
Yeah.
So somebody just goes, sits on a bench somewhere and takes a couple puffs and feels good and goes to sleep fine. I mean, I don't see what the issue is with that, but
The issue that I have with marijuana is this, John, and actually Allie's state is a good example of this. There was two individuals that were legalized to smoke marijuana for glaucoma. So there was a medical use for it. They were being prescribed by a doctor. And then when Bush became governor, all that suddenly went away.
yeah.
But before they even gave it a chance to see, and of course, under doctor's care, they wasn't allowed to operate any kind of equipment or heavy machinery. Of course, with glaucoma in the stages they were in, they probably had no business doing it. But it was starting to have an impact. You show me angel dust has a medical use, and I'll back it. But there should be no reason if it has a medical use why somebody can't be taking it.
That's what I see. I don't know. Like I said, marijuana I never thought was a dangerous drug. Unless you're, like I said, if you're driving and you're high, well, we got a problem. But
Now, the FMCSA has classified it from a class 1 substance down to a class 3.
I think that was a federal.
If they
government,
haven't-
right?
Yeah, if they hadn't, it's supposed to be done very soon.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just nutty shit. I don't, like I say, you fail a drug test, you're prohibited to drive anyway. So I guess by downgrading, what the benefit is as far as the law goes is they downgrade it. So when you get pulled over, if you're prohibited to drive, maybe you slip through the cracks because your license says you're a CDL holder. So if they downgrade it at the state level and you get pulled in for a DOT inspection, they run your license. Says, wait a minute, this says you're an operator license, not a CDL license. Even though it says it on the license, you've been downgraded. So now it throws up a red flag. I guess that's the logic behind it.
To a point, I can see that.
It just helps people from slipping between the cracks. So
Well, you know, and again, my whole thing of it is, I believe in it for medical. I thoroughly do, if it's done right.
Leland Schmidt, no marijuana in trucking, period. Okay, well, yeah, he just doesn't want it. I get it. You know,
There's
years
still
ago,
there's still a lot of people out there that just believe it shouldn't be out there in trucking. Well, I can see that, but even then, again, I mean, I'm going to repeat myself. Medically, I see nothing wrong with it.
some of the states were lagging behind on putting drivers on prohibited status. That was what's causing the. Okay, I can see that too. That's Catherine. Hi Catherine. Hi Lee. How you doing? Yeah, Lee is vehemently opposed to the drug use, and I understand why. Years ago, you know, they don't say it so often today as they used to back in the day, but marijuana was referred to as a gateway drug. It's not that marijuana by itself
Right.
was so bad, but a lot of people got smoking marijuana, then they wanted something with a little oomph to it, and plus the drug culture. It was like a entrance way into the drug culture and stuff like. And there's an actual thing as a drug culture. Yep, that's what he said. It's a gateway drug. So
I mean, you know, if you know, there was a lot of people that thought back in the 50s certain other types of drugs were good for you. They thought like the natural high off of it. A lot of your favorite Hollywood actors were involved in it. But then they were finding out as time goes on, it's really not so good for you.
what's that? Marijuana?
No, they were going a little higher than
Oh
marijuana.
yeah, like Coke is hard on your heart. Dude, Coke weakens
So-
out your heart, and so a lot of people die for heart failure because of that shit. You know, it's like nitrous to your race car. You know, eventually you're gonna blow the motor out. Yeah, I see Leland's point on that. I've seen a lot of people that just they stuck with marijuana, and I think that's what it is. It's the drug culture. It's like what my daughter was a child, you know, and I used to teach her that. As a kid, I used to tell her about drugs and teach her about drugs and the harmfulness of using drugs. But then went on to tell her, but people like to try to suck you in by making it seem really cool, and it's the in crowd thing to do, and you're not belonging if you don't do it, you know. And they do that shit, you know, like the nice little names they give. Remember the Black Beauties and
The
all the nice
335s. Oh,
angel
yeah.
dust. It always sounds so cool, doesn't it? Oh yeah, man, I gotta get some of that angel dust, man. I gotta get all lit up on that. Yeah, sounds so cool. But
So, first time I ever mentioned somebody 335 was mentioned to me, I thought they was talking about a Cummins engine.
oh no shit.
No, there was a different 335, I found out.
Lee says
Now
he's
you don't
in-
even hear about it.
He's in great opposition, and Lisa's okay with it.
Like I say, I mean, that was just the main problem I have with it,
Yeah.
is it needed to be further tested, and two individuals were willing to do that. I just wish Bush would have let it go on for experimental. He really should have.
Yeah, we get that's man, we have such problems in our country with people who have power and they just go nuts with it. I don't know if that's as big of a deal as some of the other stuff. I mean, we have to deal with. It's kind of like I was explaining last night to the guys about agency capture, you know, and regulatory capture, and the effects of large corporate entities that have the means to get involved with the studies and things like that, so they can influence regulations to their own greater benefit, which does nothing more than just screw over the small guy.
Well, speaking of those of empowerment, here's something right up Allie's alley. I don't think Kamala did so good on her interview, did she?
I didn't even watch her interview. What happened? What'd she do?
Well, from what I understand, I didn't get to watch it all because, like John, I didn't get a chance to upload it. But from what I understand, there was 4 guys behind Kamala waving their hands in the air at the interviewer because she was actually falling on her ass.
Ain't surprising. That's why I don't watch her no more. It's the same thing over and over again. Only thing I
don't watch
look
her
forward
because
to is a new accent.
I don't watch it because I just don't like to have headaches. I watched part of it, and she was trying to be a very assertive, and like, very strong, but it was coming out fake, artificial, and not very. When Trump does it, when Trump's really assertive and he shuts somebody down, it's like, okay, Dad, sorry, Dad, right? He has that power about him. He has that. He's used to doing that because that's who he is. That's what he is. And then you got somebody like Kamala trying to be assertive and like she's strong and a force to be reckoned with, but in truth, you see the weakness coming through it. You don't see her as strong. You see it as weak. She doesn't have the voice for it. She doesn't have the posture for it. She's not a strong person. That's all there is to it. I saw Jeb Bush try to do that one time in 2016 because he realized he was up against Trump and he was trying to do just that. He's trying to make himself appear like he's a strong guy like Trump. And he attacked somebody, but the way he did it, it was just so weak. It was embarrassing. You could actually see what he was doing, and you just felt embarrassed for him because it was an act, and you could tell.
Was that
I think. Go ahead, Allie.
Was that the guy that he had said that Trump told him that he could talk down to him, that he has many points that he could make or something like that? Is it that guy that you're talking about?
Jeb Bush, who's brother to your former governor, former president George Bush. He was governor of Florida.
I'll have to look it up.
Oh yeah, many years ago he's a governor of Florida. A lot of Floridians liked him as governor, but yeah, he's just not. It's kind of funny when you watch people like we seen that with DeSantis. You get this guy who's a really good governor and he's got a lot of strength and he does a good job, but when he hits in that national arena, yeah, Leland says low IQ guy. When they get in that national arena, it's a different story. They're in a whole different world now.
And the thing of it is, when both those hurricanes come through Florida, DeSantis actually did very good in what he did. When I was through there yesterday, you're not paying any tolls on the Florida Turnpike right now. There's signs all up, tolls suspended because of the governor, and to that effect. I know for a fact I counted coming out up towards Valdosta, there had to be at least 60 lineman trucks. They were all coming out of Orlando this morning, down there trying to help put everything back together. There's still a lot of water south of Orlando, but it's receded pretty close. It's pretty well gone for the most part.
Yeah, there were 60 trucks too that Walmart was going to North Carolina doing a big delivery. Did you guys hear about this?
I have
Go
not.
for it.
Maybe if Leland's was still watching, if he doesn't know, he'll get a kick out of it. But apparently, I think as of 2021, in order to be a carrier for disaster relief, you have to be registered with FEMA. If you're not registered with FEMA, you can't be a carrier for disaster relief, for like hurricanes and things like that. And I don't think anybody knew because everybody's complaining online about where's the brokerages? Where's all the disaster relief? This is where we make bank. This is where we get stuff done. This is where we get. I don't think I've ever heard once that the FMCSA said anything about exemptions for disaster relief. But then again, yeah, Leland says yes, true. And if you're a broker, you can register with FEMA, but you have to have assets, which I assume means they didn't describe what assets was, but I'm thinking that means you have to have trucks available because if I'm some small carrier and I'm not registered with FEMA, they can't broker me out a load because I'm not registered. This is why you're not seeing the FEMA loads on the load board. This is why everybody's complaining they're not just seeing the disaster relief loads. But boy, you're seeing Walmart out there hauling it.
Well, and that, again, in a sense, this is what got Karl Malone in trouble with Katrina. Because Karl owns a logging company out of Arkansas. He goes to Mississippi, starts working on the small towns. He helps start cleaning it up. Here comes FEMA saying, you got to belong to us. You got to fill out paperwork. Malone told him get their ass on the damn backhoe and start helping. He ain't got time to play with them. Them people needed help now.
Yeah. Well, let's face it. Leland said, they got a 90-day grace period for FEMA. He says it's 90 days waiting for pay. I thought they paid sooner, but yeah, maybe it is 90 days.
No, Leland's telling you right on that.
Oh, I'd trust Leland. I thought it was like a 30-day with them, but yeah, I trust them.
It is the government.
Yeah, they don't move fast for nobody except for the IRS. You don't pay them; they move quick for you.
Oh
They'll be
yeah,
right
when
up
you
on you.
owe them, they will come hunting you. Trust me.
Yeah, that's what I told Todd Campbell the other day in his post. He was talking about trying to get hold of the IRS, and he's on the phone for 90 minutes. I think it was 45 minutes, got cut off. Now he had to get back on hold again. It was taking forever. I said, well, the quickest way to get hold of the IRS is file your tax form, but don't submit payments. In fact, put a note in there. I refuse to submit payment. They'll be in touch. They'll be glad to answer all your questions.
Oh yes, they will. Yes.
Then somebody
yes.
pointed out to me, and they'll also be glad to assess fines and penalties and late fees. And I'm like, well, you'll have them though.
Been known to take money out of your bank accounts.
Yeah, they'll be glad to seize your accounts. No problem. But
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
have
they'll-
their attention.
I know a few people who went through that. By God, it was nothing.
So, early in-person voting begins Thursday in North Carolina. That would be tomorrow, despite states still reeling from Hurricane Helene. How many of those survivors do you think is going to be voting for Trump after this incident?
Oh, we're gonna
Probably
have a lot.
almost, but I think majority of them, especially after they got a check from Trump.
Yeah.
I think after they see about Kamala doing an interview instead of doing something for them and sending all that money to a different country and only sending them what 750.
Well, that is a FEMA standard when this happens, but the problem is FEMA. It's like the joke that writes itself. Okay, FEMA says you qualify for $750 per household, and what that is, that's like a starter package, right? That's just in the emergency in the time you need medicine, you need food, you need small items. That's what that's for. Is just to help you get those items, providing you can get to a store that's open or still standing. The problem is everything's done online. FEMA didn't go in there and set up Starlinks. Elon Musk did.
Yeah.
FEMA wasn't there.
Actually,
The
he
White
was on.
House-
He was on the phone with the Don when he was setting up Starlink.
The White House.
Don is Trump. Trump said, "I never even heard of it. What is this?" There's Elon on the phone. Says, "Give me a minute." Bang! He's got it hooked up in
So-
Asheville.
Actually, it seems like a pretty affordable service, but the White House announced 2 weeks after that, after the hurricane, 2 weeks later they go, "Okay, we're all set up and we got things going now." Dude, people die within 2 weeks. If it wasn't for the locals, if it wasn't for the people right there on site when it happened, there would be a lot of dead people. They would never have survived. You got a guy in a helicopter that was pulling people off a mountain told, "Oh, well, you're going to have to stop that or we're going to arrest you." The hell are you going to arrest him for?
You had
He's
people
saving people's lives.
You had people delivering medicine up with horses
I saw a
because the
TikTok
one
video.
family this one family needed diabetic medicine, and a couple of guys on horses jumped up, got their medicine, took them up to the mountains for them.
They are. I saw a TikTok video. This woman, it was November 6th. So it was a couple of weeks ago. And she was begging for anybody with ATVs. If you know the hiking trails, you have horses, anybody to get out there and help us move supplies. Because the government isn't here to help. She says, we need you. We need the people on, boots on the ground is what it is. Really, that's what it is.
But I'm going to ask this question. I haven't, because Allie wasn't here last week. We really didn't get a chance to go over it too far. You and I watched the presidential debate with Kamala and the Don. What did you mainly see in weakness on both candidates?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Kamala, she just screams lie, 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 and then she just lies herself, laughs about everything. She can't answer a question straightforward. That goes the same for Don. He can't just straightforward answer a question. He'll go to different subjects, same as Kamala. They'll both go to different kind of subjects when they're being asked a question about one subject. And then any kind of bickering, really, just we need to have a debate like Vance and Walz. That was a very, very organized debate. There was no well, he's lying or he's whatever. It was a very respectful debate, and I think they actually got somewhere with it. Kamala and Trump, I don't think they got anywhere with that debate whatsoever.
There's some good points. So, John, don't you have something coming up this weekend?
Yeah, I do. Got an event going on in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Stay at the state capitol. We're going to have the Trump Train / Rise for Liberty 2024 event. So we're hoping a bunch of people show up and we have a good outcome. And got a bunch of speakers going to be there. Chris Wyatt's going to be there. He's going to do some speaking. And I don't know the other speakers personally. They're local people within Pennsylvania. Some of them are running for office. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool event. I'm going to leave out tomorrow for Pennsylvania and get things set up.
So, what's going to be the intent of doing this event exclusively?
To blow up the place, man. Just make it boom. No, not with you know what I mean. There's James. James, I keep forgetting to ask why you changed your name to Greg. That's what Greg taught. Oh, you can't see it.
I don't know. Toller's got a link. See if he'll come up here a minute. I got a few questions for him.
Uh-oh, you heard it, Toller. You know where the
But
link is.
I'm calling you out, Toller. Get your ass up here.
So originally we
So,
started this
anyway.
out, Sean. We were going to have a convoy, a national convoy and stuff, and really blow it up. And due to the short time frame, we really couldn't organize it and get it together. And while at the same time, as soon as we made the announcement, there was another group decided, hey, you know what? We're going to do that too. And that's fine. You know, if they want to do it, fine, do it. They seem to, he says, let me go to the link. So he'll be here momentarily. I'll have to look for him. I got several platforms running, so I got to get this one opened up so I can see. So while there is another group called Too Big to Rig, they're doing a convoys and stuff. And theirs is November 2nd. Folks can look them up if you'd like to be part of that. I mean, I'm not upset that they decided to do it too at all. I think it's great. You know, the more the merrier. You know, the more activities, the more things we have going on that promotes Trump. I'm happy about it. So anyway, we transitioned ours to just because we were trying to land at a Trump campaign. We really wanted to get the Butler campaign, but we couldn't get on the Trump campaign team when they were going to have the Butler campaign or rally. And so they're very tight-lipped on that sort of stuff. They don't like to make those announcements until when they put it on the on their website. That's when everybody knows. Nobody knows ahead of time. So we can't possibly have everybody convoy to a Trump rally if we can't determine when it is. We got held up a lot in the planning process trying to make those determinations. So we decided to switch gears on it and go for the state capitol in Pennsylvania. And the reason why is because Pennsylvania is the biggest swing state right now. It's the one state Trump has to win, plus North Carolina and Georgia would give him that would give him his 270. It'd be like 271 or something like that. I don't know. I think it's 270. And it's either that or he's got to go the long way about it, pick up Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and like Georgia or North Carolina. You know, I mean, it's like 4 states or something to get his 270. So Pennsylvania was like the biggest swing state. And ironically, I don't have it pulled up right now, but the polls have been going so tight. Trump is actually leading in Michigan here recently. And he's closing the gap in Wisconsin on Kamala. He's in the lead in Nevada. He's in the lead in Arizona. He has been the lead in Georgia, lost it. Now they're kind of like going neck and neck there. He's held it in North Carolina. I'm like, wow, you know what? He may just take all these swing states by the time November 5th rolls around.
There was a guy last night on TikTok that was doing estimated wins, and he was being very fair about it. And he had brought up last night that he predicts Trump will take Michigan.
Yeah,
Kamala's going to get Illinois out of the Midwest.
Yeah, that's a
but
good.
That's going to be pretty much a no-brainer. He's also predicted that your fine state, John, will run with Kamala.
Yeah, I've got that sorted out already. She got like I think a 9% lead or something here in New Hampshire. It's not huge. Vermont's bigger. Massachusetts bigger. New Hampshire's a little bit more conservative than they are.
It pretty much looked like she was going to take all the Northeast.
Pretty much, except Pennsylvania. New York's hers.
But when it gets down to Pennsylvania and New York, that's where it's going to get a little sticky.
But
He did predict Trump to take Pennsylvania by a 2% margin.
Yeah,
What
that
do
sounds
y'all-
about right.
What do y'all think Kamala's gonna do if she gets elected? Like, what do you think the first thing that she's gonna do?
Well, first of all, she won't be elected, but she may be appointed. Just saying. The first thing she's gonna do, well, honestly, what she got to do? I mean, the first thing she's gonna do is look over whoever her handler is and says, "Okay, I've won. You run things now. I got better things to do. I got sorority sisters to go meet."
Yeah.
All she's really
Well,
gonna
yeah,
do is
Bill.
follow-
Hey, Bill and Barack will be partying back in the White House again.
Mm-mm.
start a war. Well, that's already started. That's what I was gonna say. Basically, what she's gonna do is just continuation of what Biden's doing. It's all laid out, and she's just gonna continue that. There's an agenda that we're all not part of. We've never been part of the planning party. We've never been part of the process. We were just told what we were getting, and you've heard it. Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030. You hear, oh, her new way forward. I think that's rich because that's such communist language. Mao used a way forward. Castro used a way forward. That's such a common term by saying a new way forward. It's really just a communistic lingo. But you hear it from the World Economic Forum. You hear it from the United Nations. All these things are part of this agenda. And that's why Trump is so popular, is because he's the one guy standing in the way. He's the one guy who says, no, this agenda does not benefit the United States of America. In fact, you're crippling us.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not
Well-
saying we're not going forward. That's the key, guys. He's not saying we're not going forward. But what his language has been, we're not going forward, if you're listening to him. But he didn't at the beginning in 2016. He wasn't saying we weren't going forward. He said, as we go forward, we're putting America first. We're not going to fail
Well,
as
and
a
you gotta-
nation for this.
But you also got to remember what Kamala's father is.
Communist. Yeah, she's a Marxist. Yeah.
So naturally, I look at how somebody was raised. And if
Yeah.
you're talking about Marxism or communism and look how they were raised, she kind of tells on herself.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
But a little bit more on Trump. How do you think it's going to affect with the trucking industry? Because I know what it was like when he was president. We were all making a little bit of money. We wasn't getting rich, but at least we were able to survive.
So if you look at his Agenda 47, his Agenda 4, it's kind of funny because this kind of describes Trump as not really, I said Trump as not really being a hard right conservative. If you go to Project 2025, which, he's been trying to disassociate himself with because he's got nothing to do with it. We're leaving, okay, he said start a war, and then he said a war against us. I think that's been started too, brother, but I know what you mean. Advance it is what would happen, yeah. But no, Project 2025, when you start reading from that, when they start talking about, we're all for reduction of government, right? We'd like to see these regulatory agencies start minimizing those and getting rid of those, make those obsolete, return back to some good governance once again, because these regulatory agencies are a problem. So I'm in agreement with Heritage Foundation in that part, but then they start talking about things in the way of cars one day because the technologies are putting into them and being electronic, going to all these battery operated, and they're already becoming unaffordable for the average human being. What's the average loan anymore? 7 to 10 years or something on a car, so you can afford to buy it.
Mhm.
And they're acknowledging.
Right now I'm on a 5-year loan for this rig.
Well, that's a whole different thing because of the structure.
But
It's
yeah,
a work vehicle,
I
it's
get
not-
it. It's with the structure, but the point I'm making is you can usually figure at least 7 to 8 on a car.
At least.
You're probably going to be looking at least 20 to 30 on a house.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
But
So
when I sit and I look at Allie's generation and the fact they got hit the hardest in a sense, I mean, what was it? You told me for a 3-bedroom apartment, Allie, they were looking at $1,300 a month.
About that. It's been a
I
while.
remember
Yep.
I remember in Indianapolis, I paid $450 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
You said 650?
$450.
450. Even better. I wish, Sean. Golly, I wish. I'd be out
mean,
of
you
here
know,
by now.
And my my apartment bedroom was probably no bigger than the one you've got. The other one was a little bit bigger, so I used it for an office.
Mhm.
But I mean, it had all the amenities in it, and it wasn't no slum either. But I mean, I just look at how much everything's increased, and unless something happens here real soon, it's just not going to be in trucking. It's going to be in a lot of other things where I just don't see how anybody's going to be able to survive.
No. Yeah, if Kamala gets elected, or Kamala, whatever, she gets elected, or my
Camel toe.
generation,
Camel toe.
camel toe.
I like camel toe.
Well, if she gets elected, I'm not saying that she is, and knock on wood, whatever. We're screwed. My generation, we're screwed. I don't see myself getting any kind of housing. There's no way. So that's why this election is so important to me.
So yeah, it's you're right. It's ridiculous where I live. It's just a one bedroom apartment can be $1,500 to $2,000 a month. It's nuts, and it's by design.
Yeah.
The concept is to create dependency. The government or people in government want you dependent on them to survive, because as long as you're dependent on them, hungry people are compliant people.
Yeah.
If you can't eat without their paycheck, without them sending you the money, then you're going to do what you're told. You remember a certain guy, Sean, used to say, he who pays the bill should be making the decisions.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
who
and
do
I
you
still
think,
starved.
when you're getting a government check just to make ends meet, who do you think's making the decisions? Ain't you?
Yeah, and under that individual, I still starved.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
God forbid we haul potatoes.
this election is about our American freedoms, first and foremost.
Oh, I agree.
If we can get our economy turned around where people can afford to live again, your freedoms turn into independence, which you need. You should be independent, right? You shouldn't be people who aren't independent don't. This is what communism amounts to. So basically, you take away their jobs. That's communism, right? You don't have a means to work. You can't be independent. You take away their ability to have choices. That's communism. I mean, this is what this is the road we're going down.
Yeah.
And they can't do it by force. We got something called the second A. So they just can't do it by force, They'd like to, but they can't. And believe me, people like Kamala Harris saying stupid things like, and this way, it ticks me off too, because we have these SCOTUS rulings about our second A rights. And they're laid out there about storage. You can't be forced to store your gun and put it under lock and key because your firearm is your means of self-defense. So you can't be forced to store it because then it violates the second A right. You can't be forced to keep it unloaded. You can't be forced to they can't take bump stocks away now. They've ruled against that. All these things, even like the restriction on magazines and stuff, are infringements on your second A rights. And they've ruled on these things, but yet states have never changed their laws. They still infringe. The federal government's not trying to change its laws. It's still infringing. And then you get somebody like Kamala Harris, who wants to be president of the United States, says, well, that's how it's going to be. We're just going to, I forgot James. We'll come in your house and we'll check to make sure you're, well, he doesn't have a good image, so I don't think he's here. Oh, hang on. Man, James, I'm sorry.
He's never got a good image.
No, he wasn't coming through in a picture.
He never has a good image.
But that's what she said. She said they were going to come into our house and inspect our weapons to make sure they're being stored properly. This is somebody asking to be the president of the United States of America. What do you make of that, James? You're the politician here.
Oh my.
What's that now?
About Kamala Harris saying that they're going to come into your home to make sure you're storing your guns properly. If that
I'll store my guns however I want to store them. most usually it's locked and loaded and safety about halfway on.
I was sitting there thinking those who invade somebody's home uninvited usually gets lead put in their ass, don't they?
And that's a law in Kentucky. I mean, you don't know somebody showing up, and I knew a little Indian woman, the sheriff and his deputy showed up at her house, banging on her door. She didn't open that door. She had a 12 gauge with a deer slug loaded up, shot plumb through the door at the deputy. She never got in trouble for it.
No kidding. Now, that's a pretty risky move on her part. Usually they have to be invading your home, threatening you and things like that. At least invading your home. It's like I heard a case where somebody had set up a booby trap because he got tired of people burglaring his, robbing his home every time he left. And so he put a shotgun in the bedroom at the window. So when they come through the window, they would trigger it and it would shoot them. Well, the guy was hanging halfway out the window when he died. So now he went to jail for manslaughter. So if he was all the way in the house and it went off and killed him, it probably wouldn't have been manslaughter.
Well, in this case, I kind of like how, I at least like Colorado's law on self-defense because they have what they consider the porch law. Because now that becomes your domain. And if you've warned somebody to get off your porch and they don't want to go, well, there's other options you have. So I will agree with Colorado on that one.
I am playing with the technology again. I can't stand this. Because of Sean's
But no,
phone,
I changed my name from James to Greg because that's what I will be on the ballot as in 26 is Greg.
is that your real
I didn't
name?
want to confuse people. So I switched it.
Is that your real name?
James Gregory. But everybody here knows me as Greg. So this is where I grew up at. So
Oh, so I saw Greg Toller and I thought, oh yeah, he still idolizes Greg Anderson.
what?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too at first. What'd he do? Invite Anderson to our party? And no.
So to answer Leland's
Speaking of
question
parties, go ahead, John.
here,
Go ahead.
Leland said Mitchell got a new truck. He didn't put the question mark in there, but I assume that's that was kind of a question, or he's acknowledging. Oh, he's looking at your interior, probably. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no more red light.
He has been removed out of the red light district, there, Lee.
Don't you have a picture of it, John?
Of your truck?
Yeah,
I may have. I don't know.
Let's put everybody out of their misery.
It's ugly, Lee. I'm
T680s.
I'm going to warn you up front. I do Sean no justice.
Hey, the Indians love it.
I love them 680s. They're nice little smooth rides.
Is that what it is? A
Oh,
680?
this one's a little different. It is. It's actually got air ride on the front axle.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Fancy. It's one of those trucks that are going to put you out of business, bro.
Well, eventually it will.
I have to find it. I know I got it here somewhere.
Well, that's okay.
Sean wants to show off his truck tonight. So we got to find it.
No, actually, I wasn't going to, but
Well, so why don't you just get your phone, step out of the truck, and say, "Here's my truck."
There you go.
because it's easy for John to find the picture.
I don't know if I'm going to. Where'd you send it? To my phone or to Messenger?
Messenger.
All these pictures Sean sent
It's
me. I
on
gotta
my-
be careful what I open up here.
It's on my Facebook page.
Yeah, you better be careful.
Oh, it's on your Facebook page?
Well,
I might find a better
yeah, it's
way
on my face.
I can't find it.
It's on my Facebook page. Anybody wants to see it?
You might open up a picture with potato salad with raisins in it if it's from Sean.
Well, in the background, hey, there's a big bucket of KFC gravy in that thing too.
You can't get over the KFC gravy, can you, Sean?
Don't look at me in that tone of voice, lady.
Mm-mm. Well, you can't forget the Lanaloop too. You gotta have a bundle. You gotta have 2 in 1. Lanaloop and KFC gravy.
We actually did make that for a while. We were actually advertising it.
Good deal.
I think after Meemaw came on and I heard about Galanda Loop, that's why we don't hear from Meemaw anymore. Speaking of comedy, John, didn't we agree to bring something back this week?
Oh, I'm showing off your truck. Oh, you can't see. I'm showing.
No, I can't see it.
Hang on. Let me do this a different way. Let's see if I can do it this way.
I mean, that's okay. Leland's, I've set the picture up for friends. Leland's on my friends list on Facebook.
Do 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 do.
Everybody's just mystified because there's no red light back there now.
That's
Well,
right.
even-
A lot of lizards don't know when you're open or closed now, Sean.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah. Even your state representative made a comment about that. Look at that. Ain't that pretty?
Ain't that pretty?
I heard beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but
Hey, the Indians loved it down in Jacksonville. They were going apeshit over that color.
yeah, that's one of these new Kenworths.
So,
Look at
Who'd
that,
you
got
say
half
commented?
fenders.
do what now, James?
Who'd you say commented on that? State representative.
Oh, the Indian. Yeah, remember Mark Hart's in that red light. He even said something
Oh.
about it. That's pretty good when a state representative says something. So, yes, very quickly, John, did we agree to bring back comedy a little bit?
I don't know if I can do it here because we're doing two different platforms. So if I pull in the opening for the, what do you want to do? You want to do what we call peanut gallery?
Yeah. James remembers the good old peanut gallery.
I mean,
Look at him smile.
I can play the video. The problem is you won't see it unless I can find it. Huh.
Well, we're still having a little technical difficulties. We're
Because
trying
I
to get
can't
things
add it into this
rearranged.
platform over here because I'm stealing their free platform.
Okay.
See,
Well,
Sean,
we'll
have
I'm
to
willing to
figure it
use their
out.
free platform just for you.
I see you got rid of the other one.
No,
Another
he still got it.
No,
He
you're
just
on it. We're
embedded it in.
broadcasting on it. Problem is on this platform, it blows up Sean's phone. He's got one of these weak little Androids that I think it's got like the least amount of processing possible, and so it turns into like a hot brick in his hand.
Well, Sean, I told you need to get yourself an iPhone.
Look what I got, John.
What's that? Like an ancient fire? What is that thing? A wheel chuck for Amazon wheel chuck for a truck?
Mm-hmm. I didn't plug it in tonight because I didn't use it tonight, but I bet you can bet I'll be using it next week just to prove you wrong.
We'll be using it next week, huh? What are you doing?
So-
Restream next week? I mean, we going on a normal platform or what?
We can try it. We'll see what happens. I was hoping you'd send me a link today so we could try it on my Fire.
Well, it's kind of hard
But
to do.
we'll do
when,
that over.
I got a little comedy for you, Sean.
We'll go for it.
Rachel said today, she said, on this day 3 years ago was the best day of my life. I met you.
That poor girl didn't know what she was in for.
I was telling the truth.
Well, Rachel,
I don't
I've
think
never
that's funny.
publicly said this to you, but you know, I'll say this much: you got a handful, and probably got the
Yeah,
kind you
well,
wanted.
I got him a truck for his birthday, so I don't hear much out of his mouth anymore.
Oh, what is this? Everybody's getting new trucks. James got one. Allie's dad got one.
Damn. When is
Seems
it?
like
When is
I
it
got
gonna
the.
be my turn?
It seems like I got the biggest truck of them all. How'd that happen?
You notice it's
Oh,
old
that's
people
right. I
get
went
these
to the
things.
bank.
Al-
But
Allie,
see, what she didn't say, she wanted the truck as bad as I did because now she don't have to haul all the bull snot in her car. See, we got a truck we can haul it all with.
That's the only reason why I got into that truck.
You give Allie a pickup truck, and she'd be just as happy as could be.
You give me a Duramax, I will do the Irish jingle, whatever it's called. The Irish dance.
You'll
will
do the
click my
river
heels.
dance, and we get you a pickup, get you
What
a
is-
Duramax.
I'll do the river dance if y'all give me a Duramax.
I think it's an
I'll-
Irish
James,
jig,
look
isn't
in the
it?
Hot Wheels category.
What were you saying a minute, John?
Oh, I was thinking it's an Irish jig, isn't that the dance?
That the Irish jig, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how to do it, but I'll sure figure it out.
You're gonna
the
have to
day
learn real
after.
quick.
I'll figure it out.
So no,
My
you
boyfriend
notice
wants
that people of a certain age are getting these new trucks.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hit that age so I can get me a nice truck.
Yeah, we gotta sacrifice your age for lose all your youth, and you reach a certain age and you get a new truck, and when you're young like you and you get a new truck, oh my God, you want to be in it all the time. You want to go driving. You're burning up all your money and gasoline or diesel, and you're just loving it. When you're old geezers like us and you get a new truck, you put it in the driveway, go inside and eat lunch.
Yep.
It's not such a
No,
big deal anymore.
I
Yeah, but
disagree with that.
you got to remember one thing though. I mean, this is my fourth truck now. This makes 4.
Yeah.
That's about 3 too many for me.
Well, I tell you what, the day I get a really nice truck, it's gonna be a pavement princess. It's gonna be for show. I'm not gonna wear the hell out of it though.
Speaking of
So
trucking,
since it's that age group, John, where's your truck? Where's your new truck?
I'm not getting a new truck. I'm just now paying off my Dodge Ram, and it's going to stay in the driveway. Like I said, that whole newness thing just doesn't make a big deal anymore. It's not.
it'll be parked next to his Jaguar.
Yeah, I do have a Jaguar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just I like having my vehicle paid off more than I like having a nice new vehicle.
It does feel good to have them paid off, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to get years more.
I
out of
almost,
it.
the thing of it was, as much as I loved that old Kenworth, and I did love that T660. I mean, and to be quite honest with you, if they offered it back to me tomorrow morning, I'd probably jump back in it. But, I mean, you got to look at what the maintenance cost is going to be on one of those anymore. You really do.
I don't know. I remember what Colin said to you. He's
I know.
the interior truck. He goes, "Oh,
Call
you got a C15 cat, Sean? Don't you get rid of that C15 cat now?"
Yeah, call it. Representative Collins was salivating over that truck.
He's
Mike,
got all
he was
Kenworths.
just salivating. As soon as I told him it had a 13 speed in it, he just started salivating.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, man. Once you go 18, you never go back. 18 speeds are the
So
bomb. They're the best.
I don't know. I had a 13 and a 15, but 15 was just a glorified 10.
15 speed, what, you had 5D production gears?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's John. With 411 rear ends, forget about it. They're great, man. If you're
So,
pulling
I
out
mean,
of a
you know,
pit or something, yeah, get that 15 with those deep production gears. You'll love it, but don't look for any top
I mean,
end out of it.
the comparison I found between the two trucks, the 660 had quick response time. When you hit the fuel, you were gone. This one doesn't have quite the response time, but it will move out. It's just not set up like that other one was.
Is that because it's an automatic?
Well, that may have something to do with it too, but Shelly Conway threatened to buy me a plunger for Christmas so I can use it for a gear shift.
A what?
She told me she's going to buy me a plunger. We'll stick it
Oh, a
between the seats,
plunger.
and then I got a gear shift. She's going to put a high and low
Oh.
selection switch on it just for me.
We were going to do you better than that. Go to a junkyard and buy a gear selector off top of a transmission and cut the bottom part of it off so it didn't stick out so we can bolt it to the flat floor and you'd have something there. Probably have to put a spring
Well-
in there to keep it upright, but
No, I brought that up to Shelly. She said it was simple to get the plunger.
yeah.
Just don't sit on it.
Yeah, that's what she said too.
I guess it makes sense, you know, with these new trucks going down the toilet like they do. I mean, get the plunger.
You know,
Yeah,
and
totally.
really, when you stop and think about it, there's a lot of things you can do with these newer trucks you can with the older ones. I mean, as far as with all the computer technology we've talked about in the past, there is a lot of new things you can do with them, and there's a lot of things you can disable on them where you don't have to have those type of packages. But I look at it this way: if you're buying a truck and it's got all that package on it, well, if you're not going to use it, why are you buying it?
Well, what are you talking about? Going through the parameters and stuff? Or I know a lot of these newer vehicles.
Yeah,
and stuff.
you
I mean,
got-
all the bullshit aside. A lot of these newer vehicles, they got these digital dashes, and you can rearrange the screen how you want it. If you want your speed remember on the left and the
Mhm.
right, and all that nonsense. And is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about other?
Well,
things?
you know, you could do that, but there's also like a box in the front. And this is another thing Shelly and I were going over. It's actually got sensors on that'll actually let you know when you're following too close. There's a lot of new trucks that have got that.
I hate those sensors.
That's been disabled because
Yeah.
I told them quite flat, I'm not putting up with that shit. There's actually part of the sensors that on the package that it'll let you know when the trailer's been disconnected from the truck. I really don't need that. I know when the trailer's been disconnected because I pulled the damn pin. I was also smart enough to put a tug test on it before I took off after I hooked up.
Huh.
I did find out it is a little difficult after all these years. You're used to a truck running with the engine running. You're trying to sleep, and now all of a sudden you're converted over to a tri-pack.
So you're
There
saying,
is a big difference.
you're saying we went from the day and age when we used to have what they called idiot lights on cars and trucks to now a new day and age, a new way forward, where we have trucks that actually insult you for things. Your left turn directional is still on. Your left turn direction.
No, I don't have all that. That got disconnected too. So, I mean, you know, we can go over that maybe another time on another show, but there's just a lot of things on these that I really think they're useless.
I think there was a, what was it? Was it the Chrysler or something had a car like that? Your door is ajar. Your door is ajar. You don't remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a lot of years
But,
ago. Too.
Well, John, I don't know if, speaking of truck driving, I don't know if we influenced something or not, but I got word today that you remember Amanda was on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was the one I was trying
Tomorrow-
to drive while we were doing it. So I was on my phone.
Yeah,
and pretty much
um,
got you started, and I just went and did what I had to do.
Well, Amanda's decided tomorrow's her last day at her job, and she's starting truck driving school next week. So we're going to bring Amanda on occasions, and she can tell us what exactly the newfangled things they're doing in schools.
Do they teach anybody anything in these schools anymore? I mean, I had one guy walk up to me and go, "Hey, can you show me how to disconnect my trailer?" Somebody told me that if I just ask. I'm like, "Didn't you go to truck driving school?" Or somebody goes, "Yeah, they just told me to ask." Said somebody will help me.
I did, from what I understand, and we're not going to mention no company names or nothing. We're not going to get that shit started. But from what I understand, it is a pretty reputable school.
They do have some good schools. They do. I know here in New England we have.
I
the
mean,
New England
there
Tractor
was-
Trailer.
You know, and I did notice that in Collins's district yesterday, they opened up a new truck driving school, and Jackson. That he was actually there to help open it up.
Oh, that's kind of cool. James, you going to Harrisburg,
So
right?
which
I figured out. You're going to Harrisburg, right? You're going to show up Saturday.
I don't think we're gonna be able to make it,
I was kind of wondering.
but yeah,
So no convoy, no nothing.
I don't know what Tony's got going. I haven't talked to him the last couple of days. I know Tony's got something going. I just don't know exactly what.
Okay, so he might make it.
Huh?
So Tony might make it up there.
Right.
Okay.
So I know there's some. I don't know how many, but I know there was a good response in Kentucky. So I don't know how many or anything like that, but there was some good response that I seen out of Kentucky, though.
Nice.
I think you're going to have a heck of a crowd. Actually, somebody just posted in the chat group wanting to know if there was a group going from Indiana or Ohio, so the Michigan group can meet up with them, I guess.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
I guess
yeah.
Michigan said, "Well, we're going to go there too."
Yeah. I think his name's Clark or something. Yeah, he was talking about that. Yeah, he's just looking for some other people to.
So I
team up
think
with
it's going to be.
do what?
I think it's going to be a pretty darn good crowd.
Uh-oh. We might have a turnout, huh? I think you're right.
I think probably like I told you the first time that you asked me what I thought. I think between 750 and 1,000 anyway.
Oh, that would be sizable. Hey, look, I offered to help somebody do an expo, and that's what they said. That's exactly what they said. They wanted me to go scout and stuff if they're going to do it here in New Hampshire, and they're only looking for like 750, 1,000 people. And I was like, that's it. I thought they'd be looking for like 10,000 people to show up. They wanted room for that. They're only looking for 750 to 1,000 people. That's actually a sizable crowd. Then you do your virtual event too, so yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, get the first one.
We got anything else going on, John?
What's that, James?
No, I think you get the first one over with. Other events is just going to get bigger, but that's going to be a good one, especially with the speakers that they have. I think it's really going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so. We got some. I got Chris going to speak there too. So he's going to take out about
Chris
2 hours, 2 hours 59 minutes, and the other 6 can have a remaining minute. They can divvy it up. It's a joke. Chris made the statement last night. He goes, "Oh, I don't."
Yeah,
get the full 3 hours.
yeah. You just have to know Chris.
So no, Leland's got that. Leland says he's got that C15, 18 speed, 750 horsepower. He's still got that Peterbilt on that. Lee, that's a truck to keep, man. Don't get rid of it. I think Yali's fading, and Sean's trying to get. Oh, we're 10 minutes over. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got a phone call that just
talking.
came in, and I've got to talk to this guy.
Well,
So,
Sean, Amanda told me that she commented, I guess, something for you.
I saw it. We'll take care of it.
Oh, I can't see the
So-
chat.
She did.
But
I missed it.
so anyway, if we got
Oh.
nothing else going on,
Amanda, okay.
we got-
Just so you know, Amanda says, I can't wait till I'm behind the wheel of a rig. Highway to Hell, Laugh Out Loud. That's going to be my song. That's a good one for trucking.
I asked her if she was an idiot.
Why is that?
Why you say that?
When she first told me about this, I gave that girl total hell. I said, you hear Brandon and I talk all the time about how it is out here. You want to join us? You've got to be an idiot.
Hey, I remember when Mandy Jo wanted to get so involved. She was so excited when she finally got her rig and got her job and got everything going, and
She was.
she's still in it, man. She loves it.
Her and her little chihuahua.
30 years from now it might be a different story, but right now she loves it. So
You know, and I got to give her credit to Mandy Joe. I mean, she got in the call hauling industry, which is very rare for women. It's coming in, but not like it is with General Freight. And I mean, you know, she's doing her gig. She's got herself going pretty good now. So, no, I won't take nothing from her.
no.
So, you got Mandy Joe from Idaho with Fancy Free from Tennessee. Now, that's a good combination.
There you go. All right. I know you've been trying to close this
And
thing out.
she's still TikTok famous.
Who is Mandy?
Yep,
Oh, I didn't realize.
she's TikTok famous.
Everybody loves Mandy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Amanda just told me she's gonna love it. Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Oh, it's a new adventure for
Oh.
her. It's gonna be.
Oh, it is.
I remember when I first started out driving trucks. You learned so much, and I mean, it was incredible amount of knowledge you were taking in all the time. And when you think you got it figured out, you're learning new tricks. And no two types of work is the same. You know, dry box to reefer to flatbed to tanker, you name it. It's always something different.
Well, the only thing you can say, this is the only thing I'm going to say on this subject, is Amanda and I had we've had some talks over this about what she wants to do. And for right now, until things change, I think a dedicated route is good for her because she's guaranteed steady income. I mean, poor Hamilton, he's sitting down in Tifton, Georgia right now because they can't find him no loads.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a dead hit from Miami up to Atlanta to pick up a load. So, I mean, with at least, that's why I was telling her, at least like what Allie's dad's doing and she's going to do with a dedicated run, at least you got guaranteed money. You just got to put in the work.
That's true. Plus, you get to know your route and stuff. If you're starting out new, you get to know your route and stuff, so you don't get the unexpected crap. Yeah, that's what I want to do right there, Leland. Leland says 30 years oversized and 8 years other. If I ever go back over the road, I think that I'd do overdimensional work. That's, to me, that was the fun.
And right now, that's where the money seems to be.
Well, it's always in specialized. If you can get into specialized work, then you're going to make more money than
I mean,
pulling a dry box.
Leland's not the only oversized driver I know, and we hear every now and then from him about what his rates are. But I'm hearing rates from other drivers that I know, and they're getting some pretty good freight.
Yeah. Well, it's specialized. You got to realize with those permits and stuff, that price can add up.
Well, of course,
And the downtime and the deadhead, and I mean, it's not like you just go around the corner to grab another load.
I mean, I know what one driver told me. He's got to reserve special permits. Sometimes he can only drive a certain amount of, you can only drive so fast.
Yep,
You can't do the speed limit in a lot of cases.
In certain states, they've got daylight hours.
I did ask him how it was getting into Baltimore. He said he wasn't going over there.
No.
Not as long as the Key Bridge is out.
You got your finger on that button there, Ellie?
What?
You got your finger on that button, waiting for us to. Oh, you look like you had your finger on the button, like you want to wish they just didn't.
No, but we're going to do this now. So don't forget Tuesday night, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. You can catch John with Bad Billy on the Patriot Confederation. Wednesday night, John will be back with Chris and Todd on the Common Sense Conservative, and we'll be back next Thursday.
Awesome. So that's our bit for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you got something out of it. Thank you for those that stayed with us and visited with us and had some nice conversation here in the chats. We appreciate it. Thank you, James, for jumping in here with us. It was nice to have you come and visit with us. Guys, keep the greasy side down, the shiny side up, and between the lines, safe travels, wherever it is you may be going. And as always, be good. If you can't be good, well, be good at it. And we gone.